and today I'm going to be talking about depression and what to do when you're depressed. So first of all, I don't really like the term depression. I guess it's just used as a diagnosis, but I find it annoying, I guess. It's not really annoying, but when people are just throwing it everyday terms, like, I had an embarrassing moment, I'm so depressed, or whatever. I guess it's, I don't know, not really annoying, but yeah. So I mainly just call it low mood and things, and it's easier to describe to people, whether it's family or friends or whatever. For me it was, I don't know what it's like for you, but yeah. And also low mood, so when is it a problem? It's mainly a problem becoming less socially and physically active, so not hanging out with friends, not meeting up, and if you do sport or hobbies or anything like that, so you're not finding enjoyment in those things, whether it's badminton, tennis, rugby, football, basketball, and you don't enjoy it as much as you used to, I guess. That's the main thing. And sleep as well. Sleep was a really big problem for me. So I was going to bed at 10 and then wouldn't get to sleep till 3, wake up a couple times in the night, and I had to go to school at like 7. So, and then I'd get home from school and not being able to concentrate during the day and have to sleep. And so I'd eventually have my 8 hours of sleep for the day, finishing at 8 o'clock, so I just wouldn't be able to go to sleep, and just completely messed up my sleep pattern. So they call that sleep hygiene. I think it's a bit random, but yeah, so they describe it. Nothing to do with cleanliness really, but it's just how they describe it. So the main things people associate with low mood and depression, whatever, suicidal thoughts and self-harm. And common misconception people have about self-harm is that it's a suicidal act, when most of the time it's just quite superficial, and it's usually just for the purpose of suppressing those suicidal thoughts. Everyone's got different reasons for doing it, I guess. It's not just one specific thing that everyone does it for. And the main thing with low mood and depression is how long it's lasted. So if it's just a couple of weeks, then it's not really considered an issue, and it's quite common that everyone goes through patches or phases of feeling upset about something. And so seeking help, with the main thing I'd recommend if it's becoming really an issue is seeing a doctor and getting professional help, because with family and friends they can support you in things, but if it's becoming quite serious, it's definitely a good idea to see your doctor about it. And seeing your doctor, they'll usually recommend you to a therapist or whatever, or maybe prescribe you medication. So therapy is, well, for me, I had CBT for about 8 or 10 sessions, and for me it wasn't great help, but I'm now switching over to psychotherapy. But CBT, cognitive behavioural therapy, focuses on thoughts, why we have those thoughts, and how can we change them. So, for example, if you had a phobia of being in crowds or being around other people, they would look into why you have that, what they can do to change it, and how else you can think about this situation. For phobias and anxieties, it usually takes about 6 to 8 sessions to, I guess, not to cure that problem, but come to a point where you can start to integrate yourself back into those situations. I guess that's the purpose of it. But with low mood and depression, sometimes it can be a bit longer, so it can be 12 to 20 sessions, which may sound quite daunting, but it doesn't always take that long. It really depends on the person. So yeah, and it's just nice to have someone to talk to in therapy, and maybe you haven't had the opportunity to speak to family or friends, fear about worrying them or whatnot, so that can be really useful. And for therapy, I would really recommend that you're completely honest with them. I know that can be really hard, and it kind of takes a while to build a relationship with that person, with that therapist, and you may find that when you have therapy they might not be the right therapist for you, and you might need someone else. That's what's happened with me. So it's not all sunshine and rainbows as soon as you start talking to a doctor. You may find it's great, but it's a long thing, and don't expect for it to be over quickly. But again, they can really help. I don't want to say oh, they can't help, because they really can. And for me, if I didn't, I don't know if I'd be here today. So obviously it's helped me. So yeah, and the main thing is you're not alone. The kind of thing that loads of people say, it's kind of cliche, but it's definitely true. I would say pretty much everyone goes through stage of feeling unhappy or depressed or whatever you want to call it, or low mood, and for a period of time, so it's really common. But if it's affecting you really badly, I really recommend you nip it in the bud, I guess, and talk about it quickly, sooner rather than later, because it's a lot better talking about it now, and then it gets a lot worse to the point when you're having suicidal thoughts and self-harm, then it's a lot harder and will take a lot longer if you let it escalate. So yeah, that was my video on what to do if you're depressed. Hopefully it helped. Hopefully I helped, name the channel. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you've watched this far into the video, comment for topics or things you want me to talk about. I'm happy to talk about anything pretty much, apart from if you're like, oh, show me your scars or whatever. Something like that. Yeah, like the video if you liked it, or thumbs down if you didn't like it, and subscribe for future videos. Thanks guys, hopefully I helped.